Welcome to the Mischief. I'm Valen, and this is Sophisticated Storage. Today I'm going to be showing you how you can make a complete inventory system out of this simple yet complex mod. To give you an idea on what I'll be covering today, it'll be the hopper upgrade and its advanced version, the compression upgrade, and of course the storage link and storage controller, plus the storage tool. If you're not already familiar with this mod and its basics, I recommend you check out this other video that I have. Should be popping up just now. If not, well, you're probably going to be a little bit confused, but at least you can see what kind of things you can get into, because I won't be covering the basics on how to start this mod. This is more how to turn your setup into a really advanced inventory system that's somewhat easy to get into, at least to start with, and it gives you a lot of different options. So as you can see here, I've got tons of regular vanilla chests with different things in them that, you know, you're just not going to want to, you got so much junk just laying around in your place. It's just going to overflow and you end up getting like so much chest spam. Well, when you get into modded Minecraft, it ends up being a lot worse. So you need to have a much better way of organizing your stuff. Well, that's what this storage controller really can help you with. Its default setup is going to be relatively simple to craft, as you see here, and I would also recommend making yourself a storage tool, which does require an ender pearl, but at the very least it can be extremely handy for organizing your chests. And as usual, you're probably going to want to upgrade your vanilla Minecraft chests into sophisticated storage versions with the little upgrades that they have available. Once again, check out that other video if you want to know what the heck I'm talking about. Since that video, there have been other additions like the limited barrels, which allow different options for multiple displays as well as different kind of compacting and upgrades as well. So this is even further along the lines of adding more variety in your storage options and how you want them displayed. So on the left side, I currently have a bunch of vanilla stuff. On the right side, I've got a whole bunch of sophisticated storage items. You'll notice they all have little like icons on the bottom left. Some of them have really big icons in the middle. Then we've got like these locked things. It's very similar to the storage drawers or the functional storage mod. It is similar in functionality to both of those mods, and in some ways a lot more. So let's start off with the storage controller. This here is going to be the basis of what you're going to want to be focusing on. Having this next to or close to a bunch of sophisticated storage items, and it doesn't have to be chests, it can also be like the barrels and so on. If it's within range of them, then it will actually distribute things to those locations. For example, if I grab one of these cobblestones, and I'm in creative, so let's just duplicate this a whole bunch. And I've placed down this storage controller here, and if I just right click on here, it will try putting away that one item in the nearest inventory appropriate. Now, I did actually have one space over here. There is 2 spots for the cobble, so it might actually fill up one location first and then go to the next priority. It all depends on how you have it set up. But in this case, if I use these, I can just put in an entire stack at a time, or I can, as before with other mods, just double click with an empty hand or just hold it down and it will automatically take all of the same type out of my inventory that is already in any of these attached inventories and deposit it there. Let's go over here and I can describe a little bit more about the hopper upgrades. Yes, these limited barrels are very similar to stuff. They will more or less, when you sneak right click on them, which we're going to discuss the limited barrels first, they will only carry, in this case, 1 item. If they are something a little bit different like this, it's a limited barrel 3, you can have up to 3 items. There's 2s and 4s and so on, so you can have multiple different kinds as well. And that's just how you create them. They're not very expensive. This one is red in this case, but you can make limited barrels with basically just some planks and a redstone torch. That aside, I've color-coded these so that you can understand a little bit about what's going on. I have an input up here. Your standard vanilla vanilla furnace has inputs for what it can cook on the top with a hopper. Then of course on the side you can also have like your fuel source will come in, and then you could always hopper out on the bottom with whatever the output is. Now this is not the most effective use of these things, because you could actually have an upgrade with these that kind of just does this automatically in its own inventory, but I'm using this for demonstration purposes so you can understand the different abilities that these barrels and their upgrades can do. For starters, we've got a hopper upgrade. This in and of itself will actually act just like a hopper with whatever inventory you put it into, whether it be a chest or into one of these barrels, as long as it's a sophisticated storage item. But with this, you do have some options. You can actually choose to allow or disallow certain items. You only get up to 4 total. But with this in mind, you can also, of course, match the storage contents exactly, but I'm just going to have it allow only oak logs for now. Let's say that we have some kind of modded setup that's chopping down trees or growing oak logs, and they're being inserted into this chest. And I'm going to have this automatically smelt, and I'm not going to use the smelting up or the furnace upgrade. I'm just using this for an example here. So what I'm going to have done is I'm going to have the logs then start. Let's see if I can actually take one out of here. Actually, yeah, that's going to be more than enough. Here, I'll put these 2 back in there. I still have 1. I'm going to use this to start smelting things. This is going to start cooking, and then when it's done, these other ones are set up to actually act like a pipe network. I don't recommend that you do this because they have advanced hopper upgrades in them. What the advanced hopper upgrade offers is a lot more selection. You can have up to 8 slots here. Plus you can match items, durability, and NBT data, and most importantly, you can actually choose the sides that you want it to push, pull, or both. Push and pull. Or, of course, none. In this case, it's currently taking the charcoal that you make from the furnace up above and automatically reinserting it. So it's taking from the output, and then it's going over to this drawer, and then this drawer, and then it's reinserting it. So if you watch briefly, you'll see a quick flash, there it is, of the different fuel that goes through. And this one, it's pulling from above, pushing to the side. This one here, it's pulling from the side, pushing above. And this one here, it's pulling from below and pushing into the side. So essentially, I'm kind of using these customizable hoppers as one way of moving things around. And I don't recommend that you do this in long chains, maybe like in 1 or 2 items, but it does give you a lot of functionality. For example, I have this chest here with one of the advanced hopper upgrades, and I've got a hopper just going into it. Its current functionality is just to push up and left at the same time. Now it will choose one priority over the others. So let's toss in these grass blocks, and you can see it currently is just filling one into the other. And I currently have the settings from here displaying what is coming in the first slot, just so that you can get a better visual of what this is doing. Once this would be full, it will then start filling that one. But until that point, it is currently going to prioritize one of the 2. And that's the basics of the hopper and the advanced hopper upgrades. Now there's another upgrade you should know about, and that's the compression upgrade. It works especially well with the different limited oak barrels, even more so if it's like a 2 or a 3 or even a 4 in some cases. Now in this spot I have a limited oak barrel 3, which means it's got 3 facings. And with this upgrade in here, because I'm just sneak right clicking to open up this UI, you can see by putting the compression upgrade in here, it is saying that this iron nugget is part of a compression setup. So it will also, with enough of them, make ingots, and then with enough of those, make blocks, as you can see here. But only one spot is currently displayed with a number. That's because that's all you have of that one. So if I put in a whole bunch of iron nuggets, let's actually make a few stacks of these, put a bunch of those in there. I have a total of 1 block plus a few extras. This does not mean that I have 1 block and 14 ingots and 129 nuggets. No. Total, I've got 129 nuggets, and it converts to 14 ingots and perhaps a few leftovers. If I do something like this, where I only have 2 slots, it's just going to go with the next closest thing, gold nuggets and ingots. Now if I put the ingot in first, it will probably start trying to make a block instead, but it's not going to make the blocks, as I don't have a 3rd slot in here, and I did not have enough of the ingots in order to do so. And then to reverse that, if you don't have enough, let's actually look up here. The copper ingots, for example, copper doesn't have a nugget in Minecraft, so it doesn't have the base on there. So I inserted the ingot, and it can craft it up to a block, and you kind of waste the functionality of the triple barrel, but otherwise you still have the same amount of storage for these items. So let's talk about drop-offs. There's 3 ways to do it. There's the proper way, where you just right click on the storage controller, or you right click and hold and it takes all of the same similar type that's already in your system. There's the vanilla way, which is to put a hopper feeding into it, whether it be above or on the side or something along those lines, and then you can just drop those items into the hopper or place them in there, or even have a chest or something above that that it can feed into. And then there's the improper way of doing it, which uses a barrel with a hopper upgrade. But I'm going to use this method just to demonstrate how these upgrades work a little bit so that I can confuse you a little bit more. So this has a hopper upgrade in it. With this, it will basically push items into the storage below it, because that's how it's oriented with the basic hopper upgrade. It just basically pulls items from the block on top and pushes them to the one below. As I don't have a block on top, it's just going to pull from what's inside. I have cobblestone already in the system, so it's going to start pulling that from there. I don't have stripped cherry wood in the system, but if I put that in here, it doesn't do anything. That's because this is a hopper upgrade and it's trying to find a spot where it already exists, and it's just not really finding one because I don't have one in any of these. But if I put in one of them, it will then find it and place the rest of them in there, because it will push to the nearest inventory. In this case, it's going to choose this one, which is the most appropriate. But as soon as I take these out, it's no longer in the system and it stops doing that. Now you might think, all right, well, what if you just put a group of them in here? Well, then it's going to put it right back into this same chest or barrel, because that's where they currently are. So it's not the best way to really make any kind of use of this, but at least you can see how the hopper upgrade works. Yes, you can also match or allow or block things, but that is also one of the functionalities of the hopper upgrade, allowing you to use it similar to a hopper, but only in one block instead of the combination of a hopper and then a chest above it, as a regular vanilla setup would be. Now, that being said, there's an advanced hopper upgrade that you could feasibly use as well, and it will then take things much quicker. It goes 4 at a time instead of 1 at a time. It does act in the same way, though, where I would need to have a few in here. Now, as it takes 4 at a time, if I have any quantity less than 5, then it would grab that. And as I already have this in the system, it's going to just insert those automatically. And if I have multiple types in here, then I might run into a problem, because, again, I'm going to need to drop 1 of each one, and then wait, and then drop 1. So you can see this is not an ideal method of doing it, but this is just showing you how it can find these items. So again, it's a really useful upgrade, allowing you to push things in and out of blocks. So let's talk about the storage link and the storage tool. These are both going to really help you expand from the area that you might be in. This is also another reason why I've got some of these chests out here. A storage link is going to allow you to kind of access some sophisticated storage type items up to about 15 or 16 blocks away. I can't really remember which one it is, but either way, if I take my linking tool, and you notice I put 1 on each one, and I come over here and I make sure that my linking tool, which by the way, all you need to do is just kind of hold sneak and rotate your mouse wheel, and that will allow you to change it to the different settings that it has. You can show and hide the upgrades. So for example, there are upgrades on here, and I can just click this and it will show or hide all of the upgrades, or you can do it individually and click on these things. Then you've got showing or hiding the tiers that these might be, because you can upgrade your chest to hold a lot more items or higher stacks or things like that. Then of course, hiding or showing locks. That is, if this item runs out of cobblestone, it will then have it will lock in place that cobblestone goes in this one spot, which of course you can also set that up for the different chests as well, but it can show and hide that. So there we go. It now makes it slightly more transparent, and if you don't have it on your hotbar, it's just not even visible. And then of course your counts, if you don't like the really big numbers on there, you feel that's less immersive, you can just do this and make it a little bit more vanilla than it was before. And then of course locking and unlocking, you can just do so by just clicking on the different barrels and stuff, or you can even click on everything if you want everything to stay locked. But linking, let's talk about linking. Just by clicking on here, you can link your controller to some of these other storage links. There you go, you can see there, it's linked, it's linked. Oh, it doesn't quite reach. That's because these ones are a little bit too far. Going out to here, we've got about 15 or 16 blocks, I believe, and that is the range that this actually can go to. But with this, that means that the stack tier upgrades I've got here will actually go in to the proper location, or at least they can be accessed. So by just right-clicking a bunch of those out of here, because I cleared the ones out that were in this chest, it should actually go to the proper system. There it is. It's now over here. So if you want to link something that's a bit further away, or it's just like not adjacent to this, because that's how the storage controller works, is by taking all adjacent inventories, you can have something that's a little further away and allow you access to those as part of the system too. That way you can at least get things a little more aesthetic if you want. You don't have to have everything jammed right next to it. I feel that that pretty much covers almost everything that I really need to cover in here. There's always more content coming to this mod, and I highly recommend you check it out. It's a really good alternative to early game as well as extremely late game, different kinds of storage for modded Minecraft. And once again, if you haven't seen the video that I've talked about at the beginning of the video, I recommend you check it out now. But there's also another video of sophisticated backpacks that works in a very similar manner that can also complement this mod very nicely. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to give a like, comment, subscribe, and as always, be sure to come visit us on Twitch. We stream there regularly. Until next time, folks, I'll see ya.